And now, the best 60-ish seconds of your week.
And it's Saturday morning, another great edition of the best 60-ish seconds of your week. And please, as always, take a minute to like and share. You can also comment or subscribe, whatever you'd like to do. But please help us with our algorithms because we're really trying to build our audience. That's what this is all about. And this is not a show about sports, but we've got to mention two things. First of all, as you notice, the two great flags of Brazil and the USA have disappeared. They're out of the World Cup. And at this juncture, we're not even sure whether the World Cup is actually going to be played tomorrow because of all that Canadian smoke that blew down here over the course of the past couple of days. But if they do play, it's Spain versus Argentina. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, as all of you know, beyond any question. But I gotta wonder whether FIFA is now being run by the same folks that run the Worldwide Wrestling Federation. I mean, it's just been, in many respects, terrible in terms of the officiating and everything else, and the fact that it sure looks like it's in the bag for Argentina. But otherwise, the World Cup has been great for the sport, and particularly great for America. So as it comes to a close, congratulations to the U.S., not only for their soccer team, but for the way this country hosted the greatest spectacle in sports. And my hometown, the city of brotherly shove, hosted the All Star Game this week. I don't usually pay that much of attention to the All Star Game, but I was interested in the home run derby the day before, where Jordan Walker walked off with the championship over our favorite, Kyle Schwarber, by a single home run. And the Philly fans were at their best, booing Walker at every single at-bat as he goes 6 for 6 to walk away with a one-homer advantage over Kyle Schwarber. Congratulations to him and to the Philly fans who once again showed their great pride in being the most obnoxious fans in the world, and I've always been one of them. And on more serious notes, here in my home state, Senator Dave McCormick, who I predicted when he first got elected would quickly emerge as a national leader, and he certainly has done that, this week hosted a 1,500-person Defense and Innovation Summit at the War College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. He got the Commander-in-Chief to stop by for remarks, and he brought back billions of dollars to Pennsylvania in defense contract and thousands of jobs for Pennsylvanians. That's what real leadership is about, and Dave McCormick has shown it throughout his already significant tenure in the Senate, despite it being relatively short. Great things to come from Senator McCormick, and kudos to him and to his summit this week. A brilliant idea, brilliantly pulled off, and with tremendous results for the people of Pennsylvania. And we'd like to take note of the passing of great Americans, and this week I think back to July 16th, 1991, when Mayor Frank L. Rizzo left this world quite unexpectedly of a heart attack during the campaign against Ed Rendell for mayor. Many pundits thought that Frank Rizzo would actually beat Ed Rendell, interestingly, with the strength of the African-American vote, because the one thing that the black community did was trust Frank Rizzo, even though they didn't necessarily like him all that much on occasion. They didn't trust Fast Eddie so much. That cane that I still use every once in a while was the property of Frank Rizzo. I picked it up at his estate auction after he passed. So a word of thanks to Frank Rizzo for his leadership in Philadelphia and for being one of the great mayors of all time. And of course, this week we also note the passing of Senator Lindsey Graham, also quite unexpectedly, of apparent heart failure and aortic problems. Conservatives sometimes didn't like Lindsey Graham. I never quite understood exactly why the Tea Party went after him particularly hard, because at his core, he was a solid vote for the things that mattered in the United States Senate. And one of the great patriots of our time, when you think about his record with the military, his command of defense issues, and his standing up for a judiciary that was conservative and wasn't politically manipulated. If it hadn't been for Lindsey Graham and a couple of others, Merrick Garland would have been on the Supreme Court of the United States instead of conservative justices who are there now. So we thank Lindsey Graham for his service. May he rest in peace. And on Monday, we'll have a tribute to him from Van Hip, a friend of mine from the conservative movement, on our Monday breakfast briefing. Look for it. And so as summer quickly passes by, my favorite time of the year, and I hate to see the days already getting just a little bit longer soon, those cicadas will be signaling the absolute end of summer, and I'll be sad. But in the meantime, please enjoy every day that the good Lord gives us, because for now, that is the best 60-ish seconds of your week.